a passion inside. Heaven knows I'm living my dreams. As I look upon my life, there's a passion inside. Heaven knows I'm living my dreams.
Good morning, and welcome to another segment of Talk with Joan. Well, obviously I am not Joan, maybe the younger version of Joan, but I'm taking this opportunity to thank my mom yet again for allowing me the opportunity to host her show. Sorry for those who were hoping for the best, but you got Madam Second Best. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today we are speaking with the beautiful ladies that will be hosting us on Monday, Women's Day.
Super excited.
Yes, and we will be speaking about the Own It conference, which is an annual conference. Obviously, annual happens once a year. And this year's topic is Rise Up. Woman,
Rise up.
Okay, so before we get into it, I'm going to go through everybody and just allow themselves to introduce who they are and why they're here today. If you have seen the poster, you will notice that there are speakers on the 9th. So this is just a warm up to get you ready for Monday. So yeah. Theolyn, I don't want to say Yoli. Please go away.
With me? Good morning, ladies. So my name is Theolyn, and thank you so much for having me here today, Vange. My topic for the conference is identity, so that is what I will be speaking on, but just a little bit about myself. I'm a teacher, I'm a YouTuber and a faith blogger. I'm a mom of a very tall 8-year-old boy, and yeah, that's just a little bit about me.
Yes, we'll get into it a bit more later.
Wow, good morning. Vange, Anka, thank you very much for having me on the show this morning. Sorry guys, I'm still a bit congested. So basically, I'm very excited to be speaking on Monday. I don't do this often. I'm a very shy person. I do speak a lot, but
Woman
anyway,
rise
Yes, this is
yeah.
your
So this is
opportunity.
my opportunity to obviously show people who I am.
Yeah.
Okay, so I am Melise. I'm Melise Cannell. I am a mom of 2 beautiful girls. My eldest daughter is 22, turning 23 in December. My little one is 11. I am a self-taught chef. I'm a foodie. I love food. Everybody that knows me knows my passion is food. My topic is basically, I lost my job during COVID last year and what I did to sustain myself. So I basically registered a company called Melise Catering. So I do catering for corporates, raising boxes, platters, and I just love food. So yeah, that's me.
Your Facebook page is
It makes us
Yeah, so
hungry
that
when we
is
look
me.
at it.
I love
don't
food.
go on Facebook during fasting because that food. Even the
Yeah.
platters, the way the platters is set up looks like it's a giveaway box.
It's so nice. It's so inviting. Like,
Yeah.
don't look at it if you're hungry.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Candace Ho. I'm in Remarkable Woman. Super excited for this conference once again. COVID hasn't got us down. We are here, ladies. We are ready. We are vibed up. I'm a mother of 2 children. Let me tell you a little bit more about me. I've been worked for one of the major banks for 27 years. My eldest daughter is 26 and my son is 21. Yes, so I'm excited this morning, and thank you, Vangie, Pastor Joan, and Anka, for allowing me this opportunity just to get the ladies excited and ready for Monday.
Wow. Welcome, everybody, first of all. And I am Anka Hendricks. I basically head Remarkable Woman now. Pastor John has given over to me. However, I am not doing it alone. I've got
this lovely lady and a few other lovely ladies that are there to help us. But this year's conference, I think I'm super excited because of the challenges we faced getting there. So it's like, no, this one needs to come through. This one needs to happen. But yes, I am in the capacity of a remarkable woman. I am a mother of two and two very small people that are going on 30, that are driving me insane. But yeah, we're excited, and that's who I am.
Thanks. And my co-host for today, this one likes to throw me in the deep end. So let me just make note that she is the co-host.
Don't worry.
So put your 10 cents in every 5 seconds.
I just want to let you know that you are the woman for the job. You've got this. You've been equipped for this moment such as
The way
this.
people can hype, those hypers.
Yeah, it's like she's getting paid to do that.
Okay, but we're excited about today. I'm really excited. Candace is making me excited the way she's like, woman, we are here.
Yes.
So I am very excited about it. Let's jump into today. So I want to start with you, Theolyn. You don't like to be started with.
No.
You said your topic for Monday is based on identity. We're just going to throw it around. You don't have to answer alone. Everybody can jump in when they want to. But just to start off, I wanted to know why identity? What makes identity so important that it has to be a topic for women?
I think for me personally, I didn't know who I was. And I find that a lot of women actually struggle with that, especially in their 20s, when you're trying to figure things out and trying to figure out what is your niche, and who you really are. So for me, I was always the kind of person that was living in the shadow of my father, because he is someone that is, well achieved. So I always tried to do that. And then yet when I failed in certain areas, I thought I was a failure. So then it was like, okay, so I'm not living up to that. So who am I really? And then I pretended to be this person and I pretended to do that. And I had my finger in this bowl, and it was like never really me until I really took the time to get to know who I am and figure out what works for me. And I feel that a lot of women actually really need to figure out who they are. True. I always say, we all have our own fingerprints. It's unique to ourselves. So figure out what is your fingerprint and what mark can you leave on the earth. So that's why I feel like women, it's a very important topic that women need to discuss and also to discover. And it's a personal journey, So, so that's what I...
You know what's interesting? A couple of weeks ago, we had the pageant show. Can you remember? And we had Fortunate on the show, right? And she was speaking about your why and the importance of your why. And if you know who you are, you will know what your why is. And that sustains you, other than the word of God and standing on truth and what God has set out for you to do. But knowing that why, knowing who you are, really sustains you and propels you into what you're supposed to do, where you're supposed to go. And if you're faced with challenges, you've been faced with heavy challenges. And I think women across the board have been faced with so many challenges. There's motherhood as well. there's jobs, there's a lot of other things that you need to, but once you know your why and who you are and being true to yourself, then I think you feel so much more fulfilled in what you're doing.
I'm someone that likes to jump in to be realistic, right? It's easy to say know your why, right? It's very easy. So I'm always that person. A lot of people always say stop being negative. I'm not being negative. There's certain things you go through.
Realistic, basically.
There's certain things you go through and you're like, I'm going through this. But this person always makes everything sound so sunshine, roses and sunshine. And then you start thinking to yourself, is there something wrong with me? So I'm that person that, likes to add that other... thing that's like, okay, there is someone else that's going through something.
The same thing.
So Yoli was explaining, sorry Yoli.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
So Yoli was explaining that why she thinks it's so important to find your identity and going through this and going through that, and you're explaining the why. And we're speaking about, we're all mothers here, right? Even if there's someone on the watching live that's not a mother, I'm sure there is something that holds you back, right? As a mother, for me, it is extremely difficult. I know my identity, I know my why, but it's difficult to hang on to it because there's constantly this. It's like a push and a pull. I'm trying to be
shuffling
this,
a whole lot of
Yeah.
things
Yes.
at the same time.
but I'm struggling
Yeah.
here. I can't be me because I'm usually somebody, if you know me, me and Lee always joke like, I make the driest jokes, but we will laugh for hours for that dry joke. But then there's someone like my husband that doesn't know that side of me since kids. And you get to the point that I know my identity when I'm alone with women and
Yeah.
friends like this.
Yeah.
Everybody knows I'm the joke of the room. But when you're at home with your kids and it's, I need to cook, I need to clean, oh, this needs to be
You
picked
need
up
to
because
mother.
nobody must mention it because that's going to drive me mad because I know that's the one thing I forgot to do.
Yeah.
How, as woman, do you hold on to your why and your identity when there's so many things we're fighting against? Because let's be honest, men go to work. Yes, it is difficult to go to work and to get money, right?
Yeah.
But as a woman, you go to work, you also try to be somebody that can be financially stable. But you have to dress the kids, you have to bath them, you have to make sure there's food on the table, food in the cupboards, the house is clean, you know?
Yeah.
Some of
Yeah.
us are not as fortunate to have helpers.
Helpers.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? Especially in COVID, if you have lost your job, you can't still put on an extra financial burden on the household. How do you hold on to that why and the identity?
I'd like to know from the more experienced ladies as well.
Guys, for me, it's just been one roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
I worked for my company for 16 years,
Sure.
very long. So I was in the travel industry, and travel industry took a hard knock.
Yeah.
So when we all got that letters, I was like, wow, what am I gonna do? Because I got divorced a couple of years back. So I'm a single mom. So I'm like sitting and I'm like looking at this letter and I'm like, God, what am I going to do? What am I going to do now? Because you've been with the company for so long. You've still got your children still have needs. You still have things that you need to do. And honestly,
You planned on that.
yeah. And honestly, I found my identity when I lost my job.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I found my purpose when I lost my job because food has always been my passion. People that know me know I love entertaining, I love having people over. But I could have registered a company when I was working.
Yeah.
But I didn't because I had so many other things keeping me busy. My kids, this, that, and the other. But when I lost my job, I was more focused. I was more, I decided, you know what, I need to do something because my children still have the same needs.
Yeah.
And I registered my company and boom, I'm not going to lie to you. God has been faithful. My business is flourishing.
Wow.
So I didn't find my purpose or my identity in my 20s, in my 30s. I found it in my 40s.
Yeah.
Wow.
So basically, it's a thing of that sometimes we think that these challenges are the end of the world,
Yeah.
this big mountain
Yeah.
in front of us. But really, it's just to move out of the way whatever was keeping you busy
Yes.
the whole time. Because a lot of the times, us as mothers, everything keeps us busy, like you were saying. Because technically, if you think about it, there was this meme I was looking at, this little video that I was looking at the other day that says that we as mothers, we do 4 full-time jobs.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right?
yes.
You go to work. You go to work.
Definitely.
Then you must come home and mother. You must speak. You send your kids to school. You pay someone to look after your kids a whole day, right? So you must be that. Then you must be the helper. That's also someone's salary that that's another. And then you must for us who is married, you must still wife.
Yes.
So yes, you must, it doesn't go away. So you must mother. You must be the helper. And you must work. So there's,
And
so
the chef.
and the chef.
Yep.
And the chef. So you're looking at an average between 4 to 5 jobs that we must handle. So a lot of the times we are kept busy and you don't find, I do admire, because like you, I admired you because when you were doing that pageant, right? I was like, where do you find the time? Like the whole makeup, the whole dressing up, the whole going to all these things. Like how? Explain to me, where do you find the time? Because I'm just trying to get up in the morning. I'm just trying to breathe. I'm just trying to get through the day and trying to get home so that I can just, get through the last shift of wifing so that,
Yeah. So that everything balances by the time you close your eyes.
Yeah. And then you're like, but how? How do we navigate? So asseblief, tell me. How did you navigate?
I think it's really challenging, Anka. And there's no, should I say, a book to tell you how you can do this.
How to be a woman.
How to be a woman, as you go through life and as you go through the different stages of being a woman, a mother, a wife, that's how way you learn. And unfortunately, sometimes experiences makes you learn faster. I think for me, during this COVID time, in my position or in work, I was the type of person that used to be on the road, visiting clients, engaging with clients, traveling nationally. That was my life, being out there, being around people, because I'm a people's person. I love being around people. And then COVID came, and I was forced to stay at home. And it messed up my identity. I was lost.
Yeah.
I didn't know, how am I going to deal with this? It's how do I engage with a customer virtually? How do I convince a customer, you need to buy into my product virtually? Because for me, what worked was sitting and having a conversation.
Yeah.
And saying, this is who I am, this is what I'm about, this is what I can do for you. Now I have to do it virtually. Sometimes you don't even see the person's
I was
face.
just about to say, you're speaking to a black screen.
You're speaking to a telephone. And it's like, you need to. And during this time, I really struggled and I lost my identity. And it was very challenging being alone at home, all the time at home, because you're working at home. You stay at home. You're restricted. You can't go out. You can't be around people. And it was really challenging. But I guess as time went on and things was forced, we had to adapt to it. So, I think what I want to bring across is life's challenges can change your identity. You can never say, this is who I am, this is my why, and then you're going to stick to it.
Yeah.
Life's
Your why could
challenges,
change every 5
it's
days.
going to change.
True. Life has a way of throwing curveballs at you that you're like, yo, that one hit me out of the park. Like, how do I deal? And for me, those are the questions that I always ask. I struggle with the how. So you get the why, you get the, okay, this is why I'm doing it. But how do I navigate this whole thing? I mean, the process. So people are like, oh, you need to deal with it.
Yeah.
You need to deal with this issue. You need to deal with this that you went through. But how?
Stronger.
It makes you stronger. But how? No, I'm saying how? Like, do I go and I scream at the whole world?
Yeah.
Do I go on a jogging session? I know you have to find what works for you. But isn't there like sort of like a guidance to tell me how? Because I can just shut things out and never think about it. But we all know that's not dealing with it.
Yeah.
We all know.
I think what Melise was saying earlier about how she found like her passion in the food and everything, I can really attest to something like that. So with Scarlett's situation, it was a therapy 3 times a week, doctor visits, those kind of things. And you're forced to, what do I do now? What job keeps you? But you must be off 3 times a week, kind of a thing. So that's how I started doing makeup.
Yeah.
I was like, how do I bring an income? I've always been somebody that's into art. I had a clothing brand.
Yeah.
I had so many things, but it was always in art, but I never felt like I enjoy this kind of a thing. And I was thrown into doing makeup, and I've never worn makeup. My whole life, I never wore makeup. I was already married. I still didn't wear makeup. If I look at my wedding photos today, guys, the Lord knows I'm upset with my makeup artist. Because now that I know about makeup, I'm like, where's that eyeliner going? Kind of a thing. But what I'm trying to say is that I started wearing makeup because my clients didn't trust my work, because you have a blank face,
Yes.
but you
Yeah.
expect me
To
to trust
or
you.
to trust you,
Yeah.
basically.
So that's how I started wearing makeup, but that's how I got into the game of makeup. And like you say, you lost your job. My situation was scarlet.
Yeah.
But then COVID came. I mean, I got to a point where I was booming with my makeup. Like, I had work every day. I knew, and makeup is not cheap.
Yeah.
So there's that constant income. And at the end of the month, when you actually tally up, you realize this makes more than a job where you get a monthly salary kind of a thing. COVID hits. All your weddings cancelled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All your 21sts cancelled. All your birthday parties, your 50th, your everything, your
Matric
baby
balls.
showers, everything is cancelled. I got to the point where I was like, what the heck now? Because even like how you were saying, Candace, you got to the point where you're losing your identity because here's COVID. I'm now speaking to a Zoom call, and this person doesn't even have the decency to put their camera on. So I
Yeah.
don't even know, are they sitting in front? Am I just blabbing and blabbing and blabbing but not knowing? So then makeup was no longer an option for me. So I found my identity in my makeup, but then another curveball hit, and you're like, so what now? So explaining the how, and then you're like, how now? So, like you were explaining, as curveballs come, your identity changes, and you look, what do I do next?
Yeah.
And then I started asking Anka, Matthew Lee was on the Wednesday warm-up once, but that time it was a Sunday. And that Sunday morning I listened, and he mentioned 3 things, because he was here as a financial advisor. And he mentioned, when you start off something, the first question is, what is your purpose, basically?
Yeah.
What do you enjoy doing? Then you look at it, what do you enjoy doing? You look at it, and then the second point was, can you make money from it?
Yeah.
And then the third point was, is there, how can I say this? Is there, if you look at society, is there a gap for it?
Yeah.
So he said, then it becomes your job. It's now your passion. You enjoy doing it, and you're making an income from it.
Yes.
And then I was like, what am I passionate about? And I was like, I'm so passionate about mothers. I don't like this fake mothers that just post happy days. Oh, my children slept the whole night. Lies. Your kids did not sleep the whole night. Maybe that one night, but then the next night, what happened? So I'm passionate about real motherhood, not the fake things about just looking nice every day and those kind of things. And then my next question was, what is there for those kind of mothers? And I was like, everything that is out there is for kids. They say this is a mother's event, and when you come there, there's, they give you a box of nappies, they give you, those kind of things. I was like, okay, so there is a market for mothers that just want to feel like I'm worth it.
Yeah.
Because you feel like you're the asphalt one, because you go to the shop to buy lipstick, but you come out with a new
Kids
toothbrush or
something
a
for the
kid's
kids.
A whole
stand
lot of
or
things for the
something.
kids. Yeah.
And then I was like, so there's a gap. And then how can you make money from it? And then I started a subscription box, Mom's Break box. And I was like, this is a box now. And inside, every month, you just pay me minimum, because I'm now there for the mother that doesn't have the millions to have a helper and to cook and all of that. So once a month, now you get a box, and it's things that's for you, not for your kids.
Yeah.
And it's things that you can't share with your kids or with your husband. And then those are the kind of things you as a person need to think, what is it that can drive me to the next point? I'm not saying I'm perfect in those terms. Me, I cry every day.
Don't we all?
So like, even if you can jump in, and then Candace, maybe from a financial side during COVID, you obviously know the side you want to come from, but from a financial, from your side, having lost a job, then finding your purpose in it, and just something encouraging to women, like, if you get what I'm saying? Anka wants to. Can we just give her some clicks?
To us as women, to all of us.
Yeah.
I mean, I think so we have this notion as women that there's other women who's just making it, and they lost their jobs, but they're still making it. They make this life thing look so easy. And me and Xavier were having a conversation the other day to say, "Ja nee, maar eintlik die life ding. Is eintlik 'n moeilike ding."
It's called adulting, guys. This adulting thing is not working.
Because I told my mother the other day, where do I unsubscribe?
Yeah.
When we were in the house, things magically appeared.
Yeah.
The course magically appeared. The food was, the clothes were washed.
Yeah.
Dish, soap, washing for the clothes, washing soap. It magically appeared. Now I must think of these small things.
Yeah.
I don't want to adult anymore. But what is your encouragement to the rest of us women? Because I think for us it's very important, for Evangelique and for myself. We want it to be real. These are real issues we as women are going through. We're struggling with identity. We're struggling with navigating our lives. We're struggling with finances. We're struggling with insecurities.
Oh,
with,
yes.
I don't have it. I can't make it. My nose is too big. My face is too big. I want to be on Instagram. I want to be an influencer, but maybe my forehead is not making it. That kind of thing. Oh, maybe I should draw the brows today. Isn't there someone who can, these are the things that we struggle with.
Yeah.
I was looking at my daughter the other day. She came in and she got a hold of my makeup bag. And I mentioned this in the last show. And it kicked me good, and it's like there's just one big unibrow. Now I can't blame my child because she sees me putting on my brows every morning, so they look at us, and as mothers you want to portray strong, and you want your children to see you in a certain way, but at the same time we know we need to deal with certain things. So what is your encouragement to us? You that have been through it already.
You can't really say have been through it, because Candace says it's an ongoing
thing.
Yeah, but remember, we
just
still
more experience.
Remember, you more experienced than we are, so we still have to go certain trails that you've already walked. So I just want to know that you can do it, you can make it. There's hope. Don't throw in the towel, kind of vibe.
I guess, Anka, and to the audience, going through the different life cycles of your children and motherhood, and as a woman, there's challenging times, things don't always go as smooth as you want it to, because, ideally as a mother, you want the best for your children, You will do everything in your power just to make sure your children have the best of everything. You instill certain values in their lives, and you can just pray and hope that they will continue with it.
Yeah.
So for me, the thing is, yes, don't ever give up. Don't ever lose hope. Stay praying continuously, daily for your children. Because trust me, there is going to be influences in their lives. There is going to, as they grow up
now.
as teenagers, as they go and journey through their different life cycles, finding their identity, there is going to be times that we're going to knock heads, and you still have to stay firm.
I just have a
and
question.
Control.
Do I have an option of locking my child in a box?
No.
How we wish.
No. How we wish we could. Wish we can just mold them, keep them to a certain age, and then once they're big, then you say, okay, go out there now, go live, and be happy. But unfortunately, it's not that easy.
I think what I realized also with my son, so I love swimming. So I wanted him to also get into the swimming sort of thing, because it was like, okay, this is something that we could do together. I can train you and stuff like that. Yet he's the more of a gamer kind of person. Like, he's not into sports. He wants to sit and play PlayStation the whole day. And I had to learn that, being active and sporty is not really his thing. Gaming and building things, and that's more of his thing. That's something that he kind of pulls towards, and that was something that I as a mother also had to respect, instead of not just wanting to enforce something over him and say, let me steer you into that direction, but let me identify what is your strength, what is your kind of niche, and let me harness that you're really into. But also another thing that I also wanted to throw in also is that a lot of times we think that our jobs and our careers is our identity. You know, we think that makes us who we really are. But then what happens when you get to a situation whereby you don't you lose your job, or you don't have the clients where, you know, you can do the makeup and things, and then you really sit back and say, did I really put all the emphasis on my job as my identity? Because a lot of people, when they introduce themselves, you know, they say, I have this accolade and this and this and that, and then you're like, okay, so this person is really, you know, well achieved, and then you think like this person is so strong, or they have it all together, like Anka was saying, yet emotionally and like spiritually and like just on a lot of levels, this person is like confused and empty, and it's like, who are you really, besides the things that you can do, besides you know, your career, besides your title or whatever, who are you as a person? And I think when we can really tap into that, so for me, like I said, previously my identity was I always saw myself, or I always saw things in the view of rejection. You know, so if something doesn't go right, you automatically feel like you're rejected, and you view everything in that kind of light, where you have to unlearn a lot of things. And how I was able to do that was, you know, I have this the journal, I call it a soul care journal, where I like literally talk about, like I talk to myself, and I'm like, today I feel rejected. Why do I feel rejected? Why have I adopted this sort of identity? Why is it that if somebody didn't greet me for today, then I feel like, you hate me sort of a thing, kind of. But then it's like not realizing that you're kind of going through your own emotions and things like that.
Yeah, I want to jump in there, right? Sorry, Oli, to cut you off. But I know a lot of people are on this, the journaling thing and saying, you know, it's good for you, it's that. But this is something I really struggle with. I don't write. Yeah. I can't write. So what is the solution for us poor souls out there that just don't journal?
So for me personally, I'm an introvert. I love being alone. You know, so for me, like the whole COVID thing and being in the house was like working for me. Like my roles are reversed, whereby now I personally have to be out in public and in the schools, and I'm like anxious all the time because I don't want to be out. I want to be at home. So for me, that works for me, you know, whereas somebody that's an extrovert, you know, speaking to people, you don't have to, because like I like speaking to myself, like I don't have a lot of friends, so I'm like, the journaling works for me. Whereas if you're more of an extrovert, you know, you can have a friend that you trust, you know, where you can say, you know, I'm going through the motions, I'm experiencing this. And, you know, sometimes I feel we need to be intentional. Because as mothers, we're always doing things for others. But we need to be intentional to really do things for ourselves. Because remember, our children look to us. You know, we pour into them. So if we empty and if we're like frustrated because this is not happening and that's not happening, and, you know, that frustration spills over to the kids. I know sometimes I'm so frustrated with my son, and then I'm shouting him, and then he cries, and then he's like, but what did I do? And then I have to step back and say, you know what, I'm in a bad space. You know, I need to take time for myself. And you feel guilty as a mother taking time for yourself.
No,
but
really.
it's important because you need to pour back into your child. And that's where I think identity, but more on an internal level, is really so important, where you can also identify that, you know, I'm not in a good space right now. I'm not in a healthy mindset. You know, I need to sort of not fix, but I need to attend to me because I need me time now.
I think that's also so important, because a lot of the times we don't realize that we're going through something, we are frustrated, and we don't realize that that frustration needs to come out somewhere. You know, and you know, the sad reality is, as mothers, we're like, get done, you're not getting done. Where's your shoes? Where's this? And it's really not, where's the shoes? It's really not getting done.
It's a build-up of a whole lot of things that you're going through. Like with me, I was working, I used to get them sometimes at 7. Travel industry, we're busy all the time. So for me, during this that I went through, I mean, I've been at home for a year and I'm loving it. I don't think I'm probably ever going to go back into corporate, because I'm spending more time with my little one. taking her to school. We have our chats. In the afternoons, we get home, McDonald's or something, just even if it's just an ice cream, but it's our time together. So I never had that when I was working, because it was always dropping her at school, coming home in the evenings. I make a quick meal, then getting her off to bed. I'm sleeping or I'm preparing for the next day. I'm up the next morning. So for me, I've also learned a lot of things in terms of spending the quality time with my daughter. So that has also changed me as a person with a whole lot of things. So I'm really enjoying the journey that I'm on right now, because there's a whole lot of new things I'm discovering about myself, and there's new things I'm discovering about my daughter. Okay, my eldest daughter, she's big. So we don't really have that much time together because she works and things like that. So we spend very little time. But my little one still needs me. She's 11. So this journey that I'm on really...
It's done you good, and
it's done me really.
And I think a lot of the times, I know this is not a COVID conversation, but you know, the reality is we are in a situation where, you know, things are different, and we have a tendency to always lift out the bad in these things. But there's so many good things, because I think for me, it was difficult in the beginning because now I'm stuck with my own thoughts. I am an introvert and I try not to think about things. I'm an overthinker. But now in the beginning, you know, you're like, now I have to get stuck with my own thoughts, and I have to get stuck with my husband's thoughts, and I have to get stuck with my kids' thoughts. And you're like, this is too much, too many thoughts to deal with. And then when you've navigated that piece and successfully navigate, now you're realizing, okay, fine. Now I get to spend time with my kids. Now me and my husband, because during that time, my relationship with my husband was much better. And I know for some people it wasn't. But we had to learn to communicate on other levels. We knew how to communicate, but now so there are certain things that you do learn to navigate, because now that we're back to getting things done, back to working, I find it difficult. Because now I have less time to do what I was doing in COVID, where I have all the time in the world.
I wanted to also jump on with what everybody basically said already. You were saying, to answer your question also, if you're not a writer, I love journaling as well. But my thing is, I always end up burning it. My biggest fear is me journaling and somebody I wrote about reads it. So I always think there's also a fine line of what kind of things you do right, because God forbid you pass away tomorrow
and somebody finds your
child finds your journal, and that one day you just had to speak about all these things. So what I try to do is I like bubble bath and candles, nah? So when I do get a chance, I do the bubble bath. Even when I shower, I put a candle on in the room and the lights off, just so that the candles make some light. And I end up speaking to myself as if I was telling a story to someone. And I start saying, but this, that. And then I even answer myself back. Because, you know, sometimes when you say something out loud, you realize that you actually being quite petty. So you kind of reason with yourself. But I do it out loud. But you in that environment of the candles, there's just something about no lights and candles.
Ambiance that it brings.
It just makes you a bit more calmer. So you speak. So when you do go through something and you just want to bring yourself back, you speak to yourself, answer yourself, speak to yourself. That's what I do if you don't want to write.
You know what the funny thing is, me and Xavier had this conversation, because I'm always coming into the room, you crazy. Crazy people speak to themselves.
It's fine, I'll be crazy, but at least when I come out, I'm smiling.
So now I'm like, there's actually method to this madness.
And then also, you were saying about the identity and how it's so easy. We give all this because you have this degree, you have this, you have this. But we forget, by you boasting, you have all the right to boast, but there's certain platforms where you actually put women down who didn't have the opportunity. And even if they did have the opportunity, there was something that maybe came up and they weren't able to finish it. And speaking about that, I always bring it up. Obviously, I was in my first pageant and everything, and I always say, why can't somebody introduce you like, hi, this is Anka. She's funny, she's kind, she's always... Why must I say this is Anka? She has this degree, she has that, she has that. Now you sitting in the room and you think I'm less of a person.
Yes.
And I think we as women need to change that. You have all the right to be proud about what you have achieved, but it has become, I feel, something that's more boastful than what it is. There's no sincerity in it, as in, I'm here to speak to you as woman.
That's it.
My maths degree has nothing to do
But
about
remember,
that.
some people, that is all they have.
I know. I want to get
So
to
that
that.
is, yeah.
So
So
I
that
want to
is, yeah.
say that's what she was saying about the identity not being found in your career, right? Kind of a thing. Then I want to jump onto you being a self-taught chef, right? What your food could taste better than a chef that's studied, right? But society
conditioned.
automatically allows us to believe that your food is not worth it the way his food
Because he
is
studied
worth
for
it.
it.
Because
Yeah,
he
that's
studied
good.
for it.
Yeah.
So I just want to get to the point where we're able to encourage each other on a platform of we all on the same level and we're here to help each other.
That's it.
If I am somebody that wants to get further in my career, okay, then I speak about it and whatnot. But I'm not going to come out here and say this is what. And I feel that's also something that government or pageants or anything, speakers, why don't we ask normal people on the floor? And that's why I'm so thankful to Remarkable Women that can use self-taught people on so many levels. How many conferences has there been of Mama Nista that she didn't study fashion, but she knows her craft and there's this
a
platform
passion
of
there.
Remarkable Women that puts it there for us. You didn't study, okay, you did study psychology on another level, but the fact, you know what I'm trying to say? You were self-taught chef. You did. It's not this whole hype about who has what title and let's give them the stage. That's what I love about what Remarkable Woman does. They use your everyday people who is striving to become better, but they have a niche and you allow them to share how they did it. Because there's some people that have studied and is in the career, but you know a bit more because there were some things you
Life's
had to learn.
experiences.
You have to learn,
Yeah. So, can you share maybe more about Remarkable Woman and why do you do that? Why are you not after the title, but more after the
person.
yes, I want you to grow.
Individual.
Yeah. I think that is the purpose, and it's an encouragement to every woman out there is please tune in on Monday. Come. Be part of this team. Throughout the conferences that I've been with Remarkable Women, we've seen people grown. We've seen women rise. And that's the theme. We want women and we want to impart information and knowledge, and we want you to rise. We know that circumstances are tough. It is challenging. We're all going through our own thing at this point in time, where we've lost our identity, we've lost our jobs. Financially, we're struggling. We're really struggling out there. Even if you have a full-time job, you are still struggling financially. Because guess what? Fuel has gone up. Everything is going up. There's the looting. There's so many different things that has caused an increase in prices. So we want you, women, and that is the purpose of Remarkable Women, is to say, how do we give you the tools and how do we equip you on that day and during Women's Month and being part of Remarkable Women so that you can feel worthy, you can feel purposeful, you can feel that you have a place on this earth.
I just want to jump into that. So starting out with the beginning of this year, we covered some of the women in the Bible. We covered Mary, the mother of Jesus. We covered Ruth. We've covered a bit of Naomi when we did cover Ruth. We covered Elizabeth when we covered Mary. And all of these women in the Bible, we even did Jochebed, which is the mother of Moses. She isn't really mentioned, but there's so much strength within her. So we covered all these women to show each and every other woman out there that what you're going through has already been gone through. It's already done. And the idea is to see that we need to work through all of these issues to get to who we are and realize that, but I am the woman for this job. I am equipped. I am worthy. I can do this. I can rise up. You know, a lot of the times, and it was the funniest one for me when we did Mary, the Mother of Jesus, when you're struggling with insecurities and you're looking at your appearances and stuff. These are things that I genuinely struggled with, which is why I didn't want to be in the forefront, which is why I didn't want to, because I was teased in school. I mean, a comment my best friend made, you know, when I was, I think, 15, even younger. You know, that was 15 years ago. He made a negative it stuck with me for so long, and no matter who said, it just broke my confidence. You know, and then I got married, and he's like, no, but you need to listen to me now. I married you, and I married you because of that. And now you're starting to find, okay, fine, no, I've got this. But we need to find a way to deal with these insecurities so that you can know, yes, I can do this pageant. Your testimony was that you were too short. Someone told you were too short.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And you wanted to be in a pageant.
That's
right?
it.
And now, what are we looking at on social media platforms now? Now we can see that it's open to everyone. You got plus size models, you got every size model, but it wasn't there for us during that time. And as women, we do struggle with so many insecurities, and that adds on to it, Evangelique, what you just mentioned, that the title throwing. I have no problem with women with titles. It's good, it's empowering. Go out there, go get that. But when we're in conversation, are we using it to the detriment of someone else?
Yeah.
Because when we come into a place, we need to see ourselves as equals. And what I mean by that is that you are powerful too. You've got it. You've got the strength. In fact, you know what? You've got more than I've ever had. Why? Because I couldn't cook to save my life. I burned the water on the stove. But what can I do? I can learn from you so we can empower each other.
Yeah.
You know, because you said, I've walked this journey. I didn't study it, and I had to navigate this on my own, in the sense that, you know, I didn't have some head chef telling me do this or some other chef telling me do this. You navigated it yourself, and you've had to learn to be strong. But in that you realize, I am the woman for this job. This is me. This is what I was born to do. And a lot of us struggle with, what were we born to do? You know, so it's important that, and that's the idea of empowering one another. And that's the idea of taking someone who isn't titled. We have a lot of speakers that are titled, that do come speak. But we also do have people who doesn't have this big degree, but they have the degree in experience.
Yeah.
And that counts for so much as well.
Yeah.
It really does count, because that tells me, who comes in here who just wanted to commit suicide because I'm at home, I don't have anything. I've got 3 kids at home. I lost my job.
What do I do?
I don't even have a grade 12 certificate. What do I do? Now we're coming in to say, no, you're worth it. And what are your skill sets? You can sew, you can cook, you can do makeup. What else is they can do? There's a lot of other platforms. We just need to want to have the need to do something with the resources that we have. Because a lot of the times you sit with the money, but now what? I've got 20 grand in my account just laying there. Now what? I've got the resource, but I don't know what to do. So the idea is that we want to equip, we want to teach, we want to see from other people's experiences, how can we equip someone else to have the know-how, what to do with their resources.
And also maybe just what to do with the little that you have.
Yes.
Because I obviously started out with little.
Yeah.
So obviously it grows. So there's probably somebody out there that lost their job, that didn't get, a severance package, but they've got 5,000 rand.
Yeah.
5,000 rand, you can do a lot with 5,000 rand.
And it's funny that you should say 5,000 rand. So because for me, like, I literally started out with 200 rand. So when I moved here from Namibia, I couldn't find a job because I was literally non-existent in the Home Affairs department. I couldn't get my paperwork going because people didn't understand I'm Namibian. So by birth, before 1989, by birth I'm technically South African. So it was difficult for me to get my paperwork going. And I was at home. I was pregnant with Ava. And Xavier was the only one. He's the breadwinner. Now we've got a child. We don't have medical aid. This thing of the way the woman did it in the Bible is a difficult one. You literally have to trust. And I thought, okay, fine. What can I do? So my father had a butchery, like, growing up. I started making biltong. It's like, okay. Never imagined myself doing this, but okay. I had 200. I literally started out with 200 rand and did the biltong. Later on, I was like, these harde werk. This is not my life. No. I can do it, but it's not me. And I've always wanted to sell clothes. Eventually, we've had built these castles in the air of these businesses that we were going to build. And I was like, I want to sell clothes. This is what I want to do. Now I don't have anything left because, when you're struggling and you might use this money to close that hole, because you got to buy milk, you got to buy nappies. And then a lady in church, she helped me. I called her up. I said, how do you do this? Can I ask you, how do you do this? And she said to me, okay, sell this amount of clothes to me. I'll give you X amount. And there was this lady, I sold a pair of slippers to her. So I was only getting, I think I got a percentage off of that pair of slippers because I was trying to build to 1,000 rand so I can just have a full 1,000 rand to get something going. And this lady paid 2,000 rand for that 120 pairs of slippers. She says, this is my investment to you. And that's how I started going, because even 2,000 rand, and it's like, okay, now this ball is rolling, rolling. And it's like, so it's a matter of, from 200 rand, what do you have? Do you have a 50 rand? Are you going to eat the 50 rand? Or are you going to find a way to make that 50 rand into 100 rand, 200 rand? And that's where we're going with this. We really want to equip women to see that we don't expect you to know the answers at once, but we expect you to want the hunger, to have that hunger, to go see, how do I navigate this? Yes. Where do I go? And we want to be there to answer those questions from our panel.
Do you also maybe just want to say who else will be speaking at the conference? So we have 2 ladies here, but obviously the poster has much more than 2 ladies. So can you just tell the viewers what can they expect in terms of who are our other speakers?
Okay, so we have our 2 wonderful ladies here. We also will be joined with Latanya Johnson, that will be touching on the financial aspect of things. I think it's important, and in this time, is how often have you reviewed your financial position? Yes. Do we actually take time out and review our financial position? Because it's important. There's ways and means on creating cash flow or saving towards a goal. So ladies, Latanya will be touching on that aspect for us. We also have Pastor Janice that will be part of the panel.
Yeah. So she'll be covering a lot of the house. How do we navigate this? Because a lot of us as women, especially during this time, have lost someone, has lost a loved one, whether you've lost income, whether you've lost your spouse and then an extra set of income, whether you've lost a child, a parent or something. So it's the navigating of how do we navigate this?
Okay. And then we also have our key speaker, Pastor Leanne Gonsalves, that she will be here on that day as well. And then our own host, Pastor Joni and Anka. And then, the rest of the team. And
then obviously we have Theolyn and we have Melise here who will be speaking on the panel with us. So it's really there's a surprise. There's a surprise speaker there as well. We won't mention her just yet. But she's an added on that we'd really like to also cover, because it's one of the topics that I think we don't cover enough with these things. As much as we empower women to say, how do I do finances? How do I deal with this? But how do we deal with this one aspect which is befallen all of us women? So that's a surprise aspect for Monday. We really want you guys to come out. And if you can't be here, we are on all streaming platforms. We are on YouTube, on Facebook. We'll be streaming it live. And it's absolutely free, guys. It's absolutely free. So take the time and invest in your life.
That's it.
Take the time and invest in your future, because a lot of the times we reach a stage in our life and we think, what now? Where to now? I didn't plan for this. So I'm just going to sit here. No, don't sit there. You need to rise above that circumstance, because you are the person for the job. You are the person for that specific niche that's out there. I mean, we didn't know that you needed food and stuff, but who do we call Valentine's Day? Who do we call when there's some party happening? Who do we call? There's someone who filled it. You can be that person. You can be the person that fills someone else's need. I always say that if you are still on earth, you are here for a reason. You are not here for your selfish reasons. You are here to fill someone else's need.
Yes.
That's why you are here. So your purpose is to fill that need of someone else. What is it? And we'd like to take you on that journey to navigate your personal journey. We can't go with you. We can't make decisions for you. We can't tell you what your purpose is. But what we can do is give guidance in the sense of, okay, this is the next step. Like me, I don't like journaling, but I got a step here. I got some guidance.
Oh, yes.
Be crazy and speak to yourself.
Thank you so much for that. So I hope to see everybody on Monday. We still have about 5 minutes left, but before we finished, we heard a lot about the conference. Yoli, is there anything, without giving away anything, any just like last words of encouragement you'd like to give us sitting here as well as the viewers, just about like your identity, how you already said why you think it is important, you discuss certain things of how you find your identity, but just an overall roundup on why is it so, how do I put this in words, because it's an important question to ask, but I'm not too sure how to put it in the exact wording that it comes out right.
I think just say it the way.
Yeah.
It's fine. Let's not tiptoe around the situation.
Let's be real.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're being real, we're women
Yeah.
and everything. And we know identity, yourself. It's not easy to find your identity when other people around you don't accept the identity.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
So, like you said, stupid example, you used your son as an example, and you were saying this is his identity, that is your identity. As woman, my identity could be something, but you don't understand my identity. How do we appreciate the next person's identity?
Interesting.
I think we that's where womanhood comes in, where we need to embrace each other as you are. You know, let's leave the judgment of other people and who they are, and rather just embrace your sister, because for me personally, I don't see anything wrong with anyone. If that is who you are, like, I celebrate you for being who you are, because that is my desire for women, to be authentic in themselves. If you feel you want to rock the blonde braids or the blue braids, like, go ahead and do it. Be who you are, because ultimately I truly believe that is why God made you. He made you a certain way. So be who you are, and as women we need to celebrate. That is what real sisterhood is. Celebrate your sister as she is, you know, and love her for who she is, because, you know, you're not going to get another sister like that. So if you have that exotic kind of sister, like, enjoy. If you have that, you know, that classy kind of sister, you know, like, whatever, just embrace who she is. Like, love your sister as she is, because that is her identity. That she's comfortable in her skin, you know, and who are we to look down on the next person? You know, we don't have the right to do that. I personally feel, as, you know, as a sister, as a woman, as a mother, you know, accept who that person is, you know, and you feel so much lighter, because now when you're always looking down on somebody else, it weighs you down. You know, so just accept your sister and your mother, or your child, or whoever, you know, in the sisterhood. Accept who they are as they are. And
Okay, I look forward to Monday to you. It's extremely easy to find your identity, but you can lose your identity just like this, walking into a room with other women.
Yeah.
So,
but then you ask yourself, do you really know your identity?
no, but remember, identity, not identity and confidence. We mustn't think that confidence is your identity.
Yeah.
Because you can be confident wherever you go, but when you walk into a certain room, that goes.
The dynamic
So,
changes, because that's all that you, like I keep on saying, that's
You
all
think
that you
it's not
know.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And just to add on that, you know, there's many a times that I've been broken inside. But I'm forced to, when I walk into a room, you know, I need to put up that front. I need to put up that smile. I need to show confidence. And then people would think, yo, this woman has got it all in
she's always happy.
She's always happy. She's bubbly. But in the meantime, you are broken inside.
Yeah.
So I look forward to hearing more on
Yeah,
that.
for me, I just want to say, ladies, celebrate each other, compliment each other. I personally, I give out compliments like it's sweets. People that know me know. I give out compliments. I've also got.
I'm just thinking nobody's ever offered me a sweet.
Yeah, so I also have like WhatsApp groups. So I've got a lot of Facebook people, ladies that I add onto my on my WhatsApp broadcast. So I send out like motivational messages on a daily. And can I tell you guys, if I don't send those messages, these women send me messages, Mel, what's happening? Are you okay? Why are you not sending us these messages? So I'll sometimes send a message that is for Candace. And Candace will send me a message and say, Mel, today this message was really for me. I'm going through the most today. So I believe, let's celebrate each other. Let's celebrate women. Let's compliment each other, because nothing's gonna fall off me to say to Anka, you look beautiful today.
Yeah.
But so many of us are so jealous, or we in competition with other women because we feel inferior because of ourselves and what we're going through.
Yeah.
So I feel good. That's me personally. I feel good giving compliments and sending those motivational messages to people. So let's just keep on inspiring each other, complimenting each other.
And it rubs off.
Yes, it does. I
rubs
promise you, even yesterday, this lady, I posted something on Facebook. We're friends on Facebook. And she sent me a messenger. And she says, you know what? This message was really for me. Thank you so much for your inspiring messages that you post every day. I don't know you, you don't know me, but sometimes your messages,
It's for somebody.
it's for somebody.
someone.
Yeah.
There's a reach.
Okay.
So
and then
so that's just me.
your question about losing your job.
Yeah.
And then finding something that you love out of it. What form of encouragement do you have for women? Okay, the woman that doesn't even have the 50 Rand kind of a thing. Not necessarily how to start a business, just some form of encouragement. What was going through your mind?
Yeah.
How did you deal with it mentally to make that switch that don't just sit at home now? I need to get things moving. Just a small word of encouragement.
So for me, basically, I just want to say it's not the end of the world. Because obviously for me, I didn't go and study. I finished school, worked at the bank, went into the travel industry. So that's all I know. So I just want to say to the ladies out there who has lost their jobs, just stay prayerful. My focus has been God. I pray daily, I fast, that has been my encouragement. So even though I had some money to start my business, it helped me. But my faith is also what carried me through from losing my job. And I've been at home for a year and I'm okay. So it's not the end of the world. You will find something. It might not be something that you're going to find immediately, but obviously during your time with God and praying and asking God for guidance, because that's what I did, you will find something to do.
Yeah. Okay. And then you guys had your finishing talks, and I'll just first add my 10 cents. I also think it's so important. So many times as women, we focus on the job. We focus on the how do you want to present yourself. We focus on the money. You could have the money. You could have the confidence. You could have all of that in the room. But I think there's a topic that it's one that we always miss in terms of when it comes to women, I feel, honestly. It would be one where we feel, how do you deal when it's too much? Because I could be making a proper living with my finances. My kids are sorted out every day. My house is clean every day. But the emotion, all your chickens is in a row, but the emotion that it's still too much for me to bear. How do you deal with it? I'm not saying now go on with the question, answer and everything. But I just feel like there is sometimes we miss the most basic conversation when it comes to women. Because, I mean, I've been going through the yell depression. But when I'm in front of people, like Candace said, you put up the show and you I try to cook, I try to make new meals every day. I think I'm Korean and I'm making bibimbap every day, and I'm making this and I'm making that. You know what? I'm trying to make my own kimchi and all those kind of things. And at the end of the day, everybody is eating, everybody slept well, the house is clean. But you get to a point when you're like, how do you take tomorrow on? Would it be better? Sorry, I'm not going to get emotional or something. But you get to the point where you're like, would it be better if I wasn't here? Would the financial strain be a bit less, kind of a thing? If my husband just looks after the kids, would it be okay? You know what I'm trying to say? There'll be less washing. You know, there's some things that you think about mentally that you don't deal with, and it's not something that somebody can really help you with. But it is a topic. I feel like if you guys want to ever venture into that, there is women that do feel that I am ticking all the boxes, but all my boxes at the end of the day mentally is emotionally draining. How do you get through those thoughts?
For my last thoughts, that I think is very interesting, and these are all the things that we'd love to encapsulate with Monday's conference. And for me, the interesting part is the identity part, because once you know who you are, you know what your strengths are, you know where your weaknesses lie, and you know how to balance and navigate that. So knowing who you are plays a key aspect in all other spheres in our lives. It helps us to balance things, and I think it's very important that we define what is identity really. So that is what I'm excited about, and that's going to help us navigate all the other things. So yeah, that's it from me.
From my side, once again, an encouragement to all the ladies. Please join us on Monday. We've been through 3 days of revival, fasting and prayer. We fired up. We are ready. All I want to say is it's time, women, to rise.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much for taking out the time to come and speak to us. We are really excited for Monday. Guys, even if you're not excited for the talks, just be excited to come out of the house.
Oh, yes.
So thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much to Talk with Joan for allowing the opportunity. And we can't wait to see you next week. Ciao.
Bye.
As I look upon my life, there's a passion inside. Heaven knows I'm living my dreams. As I look upon my life, there's a passion inside.